Part 168. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1671. Snapped. A loud slap sounded, and Fang Fan withdrew his hand indifferently. Pay attention to your posture. You are my war slave. This is the first time I can choose to forgive. No matter how rude, I will directly kill it. Go and assemble the 308th Bronze Legion. Prepare to follow me. Fang Fan sneered coldly, his eyes flickered, all kinds of thoughts were churning in his mind, and everything was settled. It's this feeling that becomes extraordinarily real in the invisible. After being slapped in the face, Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, suddenly calmed down. He took a breath, and silently stepped back. Just now, I just couldn't bear it at first, and after I realized it, I became silent in an instant. He has lost all his chips. At this moment, besides being forced to bear it or being forced to bear it, can there be a better way? Either die, or choose to obey Fang Fan's order and become Fang Fan's war slave. All kinds of complicated thoughts turned around in Hot Spring's mind, and finally Wu Yan opened his mouth, and Wu Yan lowered his head. Follow, obey the order, my lord. Hot Spring's proud head lowered silently, the depression and madness in the eyes were vividly displayed, but in the end it all turned into a sigh. In the end, he could only lower his head silently, letting everything go away with the smoke. If you want to live, you can only choose to accept. The central military tent suddenly fell into silence, and the sound of breathing was very real. Fang Fan glanced around and saw Xianan, the former inspector of the 1st Black Iron Legion. Don't kill me. I won't say anything, really. Also, I can be a war slave, and I can also be a war slave. Xianan was about to cry, it was so miserable. I can't go on with this day. An hour ago, he was even planning how to harm Fang Fan. How long has it been? Everything changed. Completely changed. The range of changes is too large, which is a bit surprising. 1-star sanctuary realm. It's a pity that I don't need a war slave like you. It's not worthwhile to let you be a war slave and waste my holy level war slave card. Fang Fan stepped forward silently, raised the sword in his hand, and directly beheaded the restrained Xianan. The bloody smell in the central military tent became more and more intense. The blood splashed onto the Hot Spring's face, making him feel a warm feeling. He took a deep breath. He knew very well that if he had continued to resist, or used some murderous intent just now, his end would be the same as that of Xianan, and he would definitely die. Now this life is taken back. Put his body in place and record it in the battle report after we return from Demon Heart City. Record 308 Bronze Legion 1st Black Iron Legion Inspector Xianan was beheaded by a dark camp practitioner during the battle. Fang Fan directly made further arrangements. He thought that such an arrangement was very reasonable. At least if he analyzed it from the perspective of overall planning, it would be able to avoid the temple's suspicion of him to a great extent. Before the background is not strong enough, it is necessary to choose dormancy. If today's events are known to the Temple of the Alliance of Light, then he is basically finished. For the Temple of the Alliance of Light, what they need is a docile sheep and a mighty army, not a wise and ferocious wolf king. The rules here are obvious. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1672. An hour later, the entire army gathered in the east of Xingyu Island. A whole 308 Bronze Legion, nearly 1 million elite emperors. Human Sovereign Legion, more than 40,000 elite sovereign lords. Slaves Legion, tens of thousands of ordinary soldiers in the real king realm and the elite emperor realm. The Tianhu clan, 10,000 elite emperor masters, and millions of ordinary true kings. The overall army size exceeds 2 million. Of course, more than a million of them are true kings, and relatively speaking, there are only about 1.1 million real emperors. Relying on these millions of elite imperial masters, Fang Fan wants to take down Demon Heart City. Destroy the Dark Temple in Demon Heart City. This is a frighteningly crazy plan. The strength of the two Bronze Legions, and one of the Bronze Legions is still the normal combat strength of the real king. Relying on such an army, it sounds like a fairy tale to destroy the Demon Heart City and the Dark Temple Branch Hall. But at this moment, this crazy plan is being executed. Judge the Unicorn Legion. Dragon and Lion Knight Legion. Black Dragon Knight Legion. You clear the obstacles ahead and scout out the enemy's situation. When encountering a large-scale enemy army, be sure to warn. The whole army has entered a state of first-level combat readiness and is ready to participate in the battle at any time. 15 one-star Sanctuary-class small flying battleships of the entire army are guarding the sides, and the shells are loaded. 2 3-star Sanctuary-class small flying warships are opening the way ahead. Fang Fan rode on a 1-star Sanctuary-level God and Devil battleship and began to mobilize the entire army. At this moment, any accident may cause the situation to completely collapse, and there must be no slack in the slightest. On the battlefield, there is no small matter. The whole army is moving steadily. Along the way, I encountered some small-scale cultivators of the Dark Camp, but basically they were dozens of hundreds of people, and there was no large force to respond to them. Cool state. My lord, most of the cultivators and troops in the Dark Camp have been dispatched to attack the Holy City of Light. That's why it's very difficult to encounter large-scale troops from the Dark Camp in the Broken Soul Demon Realm. Hao Yun rushed over from the side, panted and said, relatively speaking, the overall form is relatively stable. According to the previous information, Demon Heart City also mobilized some troops to go to the Holy City of Light. Demon Heart City is the emptiest time in history, the opportunity must be seized. Satan. Lead the Abyssal Demon General Army to investigate the Demon Heart City and see the specific deployment of troops in the Demon Heart City. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, then waved his hand directly and said. The Abyss Demon Army led by Satan was formerly a demon. To some extent, they are born dark species. So there is a natural advantage of being a scout in the Broken Soul Demon Realm. Obey the Lord. You must fulfill your mission. Satan nodded, and then led the army directly without any slack. The distance from Xingyu Island to Demon Heart City is only half a day. If you force the army to march, you can save a few hours, so the possibility of success in the sneak attack is the greatest. Holy City of Light. The formerly prosperous Guangming Holy City now seems to have suddenly withered. The streets in the city were covered with fallen leaves, but no trace of people could be found. The usually noisy streets have become silent at this moment. The wind is rustling, the water is cold, the chilling feeling of war emerges spontaneously. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1673. On the city wall at the head of Guangming City, countless troops from the Temple of the Light Alliance are fighting and fighting. The resplendent city wall is gradually soaked in blood red, and the blood, gradually gathers the surrounding fields into a river of blood. I didn't expect the army from the Dark Temple to come so quickly, let alone the White Tiger Legion and Suzaku Legion from the Temple of the Alliance of Light to be defeated so quickly. Nangonglei held the long sword in his hand, and the red robe on his body became even brighter with blood. If the Holy City of Light is broken, the Temple of the Alliance of Light is in danger. At that time, the battle of the gods will be ended early, and it will not even be able to hold on until the time when the god fruit falls. A bunch of trash. The 200 million elites of the White Tiger Legion and the Suzaku Legion are defeated just like that? Still have the face to come back. If it weren't for the occasion of employing people, I really want to crucify them all. Among the crowd, the Dongguo saint in golden robes cursed and looked extremely resentful. This gesture was obvious. At this moment, the thoughts are running wildly. In this battle, Dongguo Shenge is the deputy commander, and another Zutshenge is the commander-in-chief, coordinating the overall situation. All we can do now is to hold the last line of defense. Defend the holy city of light. Defend the temple of the Alliance of Light. Only in this way will there be a chance to fight back. Master Dongguo Saint, when will the Legion of Light come back for help? The Dark Camp has dispatched the Dark Legion. If there is no Light Legion to fight, this battle will still be difficult to persist. Nangonglei gritted his teeth, then said with a soft sigh. In addition to the 4 core golden legions of Qinglong, Beihu, Suzaku, and Suanwuo, the Light Camp also has an ace legion. That is the Legion of Light named after the light. To some extent, this is just a bronze rank legion, but its combat power is enough to challenge other major gold rank legions. The quasi-sacred realm is a soldier, the sacred realm is a general, and the high-level sanctuary is a commander. This is the strength of the Legion of Light. There are only 1 million people, and there is only one bronze legion, but if they face each other on the frontal battlefield, they can even directly defeat a golden legion with hundreds of millions of people. They have their own special tasks. Is it ready to gather the cannon fodder army gathered by the forces of the 3rd rank and above? Let them go out and block for a while. There is also the righteousness Shenzone. Do they want to stand by this time? The call-up order has been issued so many times, but they refuse to be called. Are they trying to turn the tables on the Light Camp and destroy their own beliefs? Sage Dongguo squinted his eyes and gritted his teeth as he shouted. Nangonglei, who was standing aside, was silent. The situation in the temple is too complicated. The overall strength of the Temple of the Alliance of Light is not much worse than that of the Dark Camp, but what about now? The army of the Dark Camp is overwhelming, and the forces of the Light Camp can only retreat steadily. This is the greatest shame. Even at this time, the various forces are still hesitating and fighting for power. Are there eggs under the overturned nest? If the Temple of the Alliance of Light is really about to collapse, what good results can they have? Call. I'm just a red-clothed archbishop, I don't care about things too high. If the holy city of light is really broken, I will live and die with the city gate. I don't know what happened to little friend Fang Fan, just joined the temple, with a bright future, and encountered this kind of crisis. It's a pity that a good seedling. Nangonglei closed his eyes silently and sighed inwardly. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1674. Demon Heart City, 30 miles to the west. My lord, the spies around have been cleaned up, and the tentacles have been dealt with. According to the information obtained, there are still 2 full-staffed Bronze Legions stationed in Demon Heart City at the moment, the Ghost Legion of the Dark Temple. Besides, there is a full-fledged battle group of the Dark Knight Legion guarding the sub-shrine in Demon Heart City. As for the others, I don't have any clues yet. Satan, the leader of the Abyssal Demon General Corps, groaned, and then reported all the information he was about to receive. 2 fully staffed Bronze Legion. A full regiment of the Dark Knight Legion. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and there were flashes of light in his eyes. If this is the case, the situation is relatively controllable. The 2 full-staffed Bronze Legions have 2 million elite soldiers in the Emperor's realm, plus a dozen or so generals in the Sanctuary realm. It is not a big problem for the 308 Bronze Legion to block it. The key lies in a full-fledged battle group of the Dark Knight Legion. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and fell into deep thought in his heart. The current problem seemed to be easy to solve, but in fact, it was not as easy as imagined to completely solve them. Master, Master, I think we should evacuate. It doesn't matter if our troops can hold the enemy's 2 bronze legions. The full battle regiment of the Dark Knight Legion is enough to tear us apart. The Dark Knight Legion is the most elite legion of the Dark Temple. There are only 1,000,000 troops, and a battle group is only 10,000. But in the Dark Knight Legion, the soldiers at the lowest level are all in the quasi-sacred realm. Squadron leaders generally have the ultimate quasi-sacred realm or even the sanctuary realm. Among the 10,000 strong battle group of the Dark Knight Legion, at least dozens of holy domain experts can be drawn, and the cultivation of the group leader is unpredictable. 308 Wenquin, the head of the Bronze Legion, walked over with a dull expression. It is still a bit unaccustomed to call Fang Fan the Lord, but even if he is not used to it, he can only call him that at this time, because at this moment he is Fang Fan's war slave, and he is not qualified to retreat. Unless you choose a dead end, this is the only way. Sorrowful. There are indeed some, but at this time, I can only choose to remain silent. Everything is a foregone conclusion. Retreat now, it's too late. The road ahead has already been built, so what's the point of retreating? Since the road has appeared, the next thing to do is to rush forward without hesitation. Fang Fan squinted his eyes were burning with flames of war, and his thoughts at this moment gradually became real. The time of battle is coming. Hot Spring, you lead the 5 Black Iron level legions of the 308th Bronze Legion to stop the Bronze Legion of the Dark faction stationed on the south side of Demon Heart City. Galen, Mozang. You lead the remaining 5 Black Iron level legions of the 308th Bronze Legion to block the Dark Bronze Legion on the east side. Tian Hussein Tess, you are responsible for helping them. Be ready to support at any time. The branch of the Dark Temple in Demon Heart City, I will destroy it myself. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, his thoughts gradually flew. The strength of the enemy troops stationed in Demon Heart City was beyond Fang Fan's imagination. He thought that the troops here would be dispatched to the Holy City of Light. Unexpectedly, 2 full-staffed Bronze Legionaries and 1 Dark Army Corps were reserved. The full battle group of the Knights Legion. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1675. It can be seen that the Dark Temple still cares about this branch hall, at least not in an indifferent attitude. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly, and gradually had some other thoughts and ideas in his mind. Fang Fan led the Warrior Slaves Legion, the Human Emperor Legion, and all the personal legions and heroes under his command. The goal of this battle is to destroy the branch of the Dark Temple in Demon Heart City. This is the original purpose. Destroying the branch hall will not only directly obtain a wave of contribution points, but also, can accumulate a wave of battle honors. Fang Fan thought about replacing the light blue robe of the deputy 4th rank acting archbishop with the official 4th rank robe. Latent, this task has to be completed slowly, and many unknown things are waiting for him to complete. Complete the initial task of Latent, and I will have enough power of God to awaken Xiao Xiao and Zantianjian. This danger must be experienced. Fang Fan frowned, and rushed towards Moxen City on the God Magic battleship. The speed seemed extremely fast. The entire Magic Heart City was suddenly attacked and became a mess. The Dark Temple Corps in the city also began to mobilize themselves to stabilize the chaos. Everything is going according to the established plan. No surprises. The 308 Bronze Legion soldiers are divided into 2 groups, and their purpose is to block the 2 Bronze Legion of the Dark Camp. And what Fang Fan had to deal with was the clergy of the entire Dark Temple branch and the full stacked battle group of the Dark Knight Legion. All the ideas are boiling in my mind. Fang Fan took a breath lightly, his eyes flickered. Attack. With Fang Fan's order, the slaves' legion rushed out from both sides, and the human emperor's legion rushed in from the front. Demon Heart City, the branch of the Dark Temple. Mokashi's acting Dark Cardinal walked around the temple with a displeased face, his face turned livid. Because His Majesty the Pope left him and asked him to guard this branch of the Dark Temple. He has had enough. He is the acting Dark Cardinal envoy of the deputy second rank of the Dark Temple, how could he be abandoned here like this? This is suppression. Another suppression. Attack the holy city of light in the temple of the Alliance of Light, and the rewards you can obtain will be countless. And at that time, the great dark gods will definitely project their attention there, everything will look extremely exciting. But now, everything is far from what I expected. Staying in such a ghostly place, there is nothing, according to this trend, when can I get rid of the agent in front of me? Damn it! The voice of cursing came from the mouth of the Dark Cardinal who was acting as the agent of the Dark Temple, and he was about to go crazy. Like him, Sci-Fi, the leader of the 707th chapter of the Dark Knight Legion, is also feeling irritable. As a chapter master of the strongest Dark Knight Legion, he has always been proud of it. But the current form of development can't obey his will. As one of the strongest temple fighters, he was unable to participate in the temple's fortified battle against the holy city of light. This is simply a great humiliation. This sense of humiliation is still gradually rising at this moment, bringing him a sense of resentment from the bottom of his heart. The feeling becomes more and more real. Lord Mokashi, why don't we go by ourselves? There is no order from the temple, so we can act on our own. Anyway, as long as the holy city of light is breached, our names will always be on the credit book. Sci-Fi, head of the 707th chapter of the Dark Knight Legion, said excitedly, his eyeballs were about to protrude as he spoke. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 1676. The opportunity is right in front of you, whether you can grasp it or not is another matter. Is that so? Is this not very good? At that time, if there is something wrong with the branch of the Dark Temple in Demon Heart City, Her Majesty the Pope, I can't do the job. Mokashi, the acting Dark Cardinal of the Dark Temple, had a yearning look on his face, but he couldn't help pulling his consciousness back at the end. He always knew his duty at the moment. He is not only the deputy second-rank agent of the Dark Temple, but also the head of the branch of the Dark Temple in the Devil Heart City. Once he is gone, if there is something wrong with the Dark Temple branch in the Devil Heart City, who will you call to deal with? You must think clearly about all aspects of the problem, and you can't be too arbitrary. If you are a little careless, you may lose everything. Can't pay the job. I don't think there is any need to care about this problem. Lord Mokashi, do you think that given the current situation of the Light Camp, do they still have the strength to counterattack us? I'm afraid they have been wandering around like ants on a hot pot by now. It is their only stubbornness to concentrate all their mental energy on guarding the holy city of light. As for the others, there is no spare power at all. Take a step back, so what if they have this idea? Within 1,000,000 miles, there is a Bronze Legion of the Temple of Light on Xingyu Island. It is said that it is still in a semi-disabled state. We left a black just 100,000 people from the Iron Level Legion Guard here. As for the others, there is no need to worry at all. Lord Mokashi, this is the only chance. If you break through the holy city of light in this battle of gods, and then completely destroy the temple of the Alliance of Light, there may not be any large-scale battles in the future. That is, it is said that the opportunity to make contributions is basically gone. If you don't take advantage of this opportunity to become a regular, Master Mokashi may have to survive for millions of years. Xiao Yui, the head of the 707th chapter of the Dark Knight Legion, persuaded him earnestly from the sidelines, with an appearance of being loyal and courageous, serving you wholeheartedly. In fact, to put it bluntly, he wanted to go to the main battlefield of the Holy City of Light, and then intercept a wave of military exploits. But it's definitely not okay to go there so abruptly. Maybe if you don't get the military merit, you will be reprimanded. But if Mokashi is dragged along, then there is no problem. This is the deputy second-rank agent of the Dark Temple, the Dark Cardinal God Envoy, and if he is in front of him, then he can completely say that he obeyed the order. At that time, the punishment will not fall on his head, but the credit is real. There are more or less different thoughts, so that it appears more real. Still for millions of years? No. Absolutely not. Captain Zayaha, you are right. As members of the Dark Temple and believers of the Dark Gods, we all have reasons to fight to the end for the God War. Now we can deploy troops to help the Holy City of Light. Why not do it? Pass my military orders. The 707th chapter of the Dark Knight Legion, the 205th and 209th Bronze Legion of the Ghost Legion will attack with me. In addition, the 205th and 209th Bronze Legion of the Ghost Legion each left a second-line Black Iron Legion to guard the Demon Heart City. All the remaining soldiers will follow me. Mokashi took a deep breath, feeling inexplicably overwhelmed with fighting power. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 1677. The opportunity to make great achievements is before him, and countless credits are waiting for him to grab. Taking advantage of this battle of gods, remove the word acting in front, so that he can truly become the second-rank Dark Cardinal God of the Dark Temple made it. Thinking of this, Mokashi's eyes lit up. Just don't get too excited. Master Makaxe, let's start now. Go to the Holy City of Light earlier and make achievements earlier, but don't miss this great opportunity. Xiao Yui, the commander of the 707th chapter of the Dark Knight Legion, hurriedly urged, looking very anxious. Long nights and dreams, if this Mokashi changes his mind, wouldn't everything be for nothing? When the army is assembled, set off immediately. However, there is one thing, you can't make a big fanfare, everyone should keep a low profile and sneak out from the side city gate. Well, it's better to pretend to be a few more soldiers from the light camp, let them wear the clothes of the soldiers of the Temple of Light, and then, pretend that we are chasing them, so that we can dispatch the army without anyone noticing. If you are really asked by the Pope in the future, it can be said that you led the army to chase after the spies of the light camp, and then chased them to the front of the Holy City of Light. Isn't such a plan foolproof? While Mokashi was talking, he couldn't help but raised his head proudly, the arrogance on his face was beyond words, this feeling was very real. Lord Mokashi is really far-sighted. Really wise. Great opinion. Xiao Yui, the commander of the 707th chapter of the Dark Knight Legion, flattered frantically at the side. The plan has started to be implemented, and everything is progressing according to the established plan. Fang Fan led the army to Demon Heart City, and directly launched a surprise attack on the branch of the Dark Temple in Demon Heart City, and the formation suddenly broke out. Fang Fan is ready for a bloody battle, ready to fight at all costs. The silver-armored puppets in the 5-star sanctuary are also ready. 10 minutes later, Fang Fan stood in the branch hall of the Dark Temple, looking at the old, weak, sick, and disabled in front of him. His bewilderment became more and more intense. My lord, when we rushed in, there were only 3 or 2 soldiers from the Dark Temple resisting, besides, there are only these old and weak people left. Overall, I haven't encountered any resistance. Huang Gan, the deputy head of the Emperor's Legion, stepped forward, his face full of helplessness. Originally, he thought about fighting well, so he would definitely experience a wave of fierce battles. But now, it was like gathering all the strength of his body but hitting the cotton. This feeling of powerlessness made him a little crazy, and he even had a feeling of dumbfounding. This feeling was especially intense. At this point, the whole person was completely in a daze. Is there an ambush? Our plan was known in advance by them. Quickly dispatch scouts to scout around. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, his complexion suddenly changed. Could it be that his careful sneak attack plan has been leaked? My lord, I have sent people to search the surrounding area, but I have not found any ambushes. Besides, we also learned that the head of this branch of the Dark Temple was originally a second-rank vice-rank agent of the Dark Temple. However, a few hours ago, he gathered most of the priests in the entire temple, and then left the temple directly. As for what to do, these people don't know. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1678. As Huang Gan spoke, he couldn't help showing a sense of helplessness on his face. From a comprehensive point of view, it was too weird. How many hours ago did you leave? Fang Fan blinked, thinking. The thinking in his mind became more and more numb. If they knew about their sneak attack plan in advance, they should start ambushing him at this time, but so far there has been no movement. What is this for? The Dark Cardinal, the deputy second-rank agent of the Dark Temple, left secretly. What is the reason for? Do they have any ulterior plans and purposes? Fang Fan is confused now, it's amazing. There was a series of question marks, but no one helped him answer them, which really seemed helpless. Master. In the distance, the figures of Galen and Mozang appeared in front of Fang Fan, looking extremely excited. What's wrong? Encountered a strong enemy. Fang Fan saw their excitement, and immediately prepared to lead his troops to help. No, my lord. We exchanged fire with the army of the Dark Temple on the east side, but they were defeated soon. The east side of Demon Heart City only has the strength of a Black Iron level army from the enemy, and the combat power is not very strong. As Galen spoke, the puzzled expression on his face became even more serious. Mozang on the side nodded secretly. This time he and Galen jointly acted. He was also extremely confused. Soon, Hot Spring, who intercepted the enemy army on the east side of Demon Heart City, also led the team back. My lord, the battle is over, and on the east side of Demon Heart City, there is only one enemy army, the Black Iron Legion, which is worth 100,000 people. Not long after we attacked, we defeated them directly. According to the information provided by the captured tongue, it is said that the main forces of the 205th and 209th Bronze Legion of the Ghost Legion that were stationed here were dispatched a few hours ago, and now there are only 2 Black Iron level legions stationed in the city. Onsen honestly reported. If it comes, it will be at ease. Before Fang Fan confirmed that he had unlimited resentment, but now he also knows that when his personal safety cannot be guaranteed, he should not think about any resentment, because it is meaningless and worthless. 2 Black Iron level legions stationed. In other words, the entire Demon Heart City was empty a few hours ago. A full-fledged battle group of the Dark Knight Legion that was detected before has disappeared. Is this how the city was brought down? Fang Fan raised his head and glanced at the branch of the Dark Temple in front of him. He still felt a sense of tingling in his scalp for no reason. Forget it, it's all here, so just follow the original plan. Comparatively speaking, the whole process is much easier. Fang Fan nodded secretly, and while talking, the smile on his face became more and more. The whole army obeys orders. Destroy the branch of this dark temple for me. Destroy all the statues and tablets of the dark gods. Eliminate all the foundations of the temple. Fang Fan raised his head, and while giving orders, his thoughts gradually vacated. This feeling became real little by little, and his eyes were full of excitement. The plan to destroy the branch of the Dark Temple is officially implemented. It is very difficult to build such a branch hall, but if you want to destroy it, then there is no problem at all. Throughout the process, the plan is smooth. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1679. Rumbling. There was a sound of explosions, and the branch of the Dark Temple in Demon Heart City collapsed, and everything was settled, almost as expected. The temple has collapsed. This group of intruders from the Light Camp did it. Kill them. Uphold the belief in the dark true God. Kill him. Kill. The entire Demon Heart City became restless. Although the Dark Temple Legion in Demon Heart City had withdrawn, there were still many ordinary practitioners from the Dark Camp. Especially those believers of the Dark Camp who have been brainwashed and have certain beliefs, rushing from the surrounding area at this moment. The purpose is to fight Fang Fan to the death. Fight Fang Fan to the end. This kind of idea is very real, and the battle scene also explodes suddenly. Everything is developing and taking off according to the established pattern. My lord, there are many more cultivators from the Dark Camp around. Preliminary estimates, there are at least tens of millions of people. The combat power is concentrated between the King Realm and the True King Realm, and there are very few Emperor Master Realm and Quasi-Saint Realm. As for the Sanctuary Realm, there is only one. Huang Gan stepped forward and glanced around, and then reported the relevant information. Fang Fan nodded secretly. He could get a general idea of the specific situation. My lord, what should we do now? Huang Gan continued to ask for instructions. Ducks delivered to your door, if you don't eat them for nothing. Originally, I just thought it would be fine to destroy the branch of the temple, but I didn't expect them to be so overconfident. Since they want to impose sanctions on me, and even want to kill me, why should I be polite to them? Open the way ahead. Anyone who dares to attack will be killed. Advance in an all-round way. Fang Fan smiled coldly, and there should be a rule for what kind of posture should be shown when and where. At a time like this, you shouldn't sink to the bottom. Hall Master Fang Fan. This Tianhu came forward with a more or less unbearable look on her face. After hesitating for a long time, Tianhu followed suit and said, Master Fang Fan, these are ordinary people in Demon Heart City, they are not dark people. The soldiers of the camp, not the priests of the Dark Camp, just kill them all. Isn't it a little too cruel? Tianhu twitched her lips, and her unbearable expression grew more and more. Fang Fan glanced at Tianhu unexpectedly. He didn't expect her to have such thoughts. The two armies are at war. Who will talk to you about this? If they have never taken up arms and never launched an attack on us, then they are indeed ordinary people and ordinary practitioners in Demon Heart City, and it is impossible for me to implement any massacre strategy against them. But take a look, take a good look, are they unarmed ordinary people? You look into their eyes are full of hatred, and what they hold in their hands is a weapon that can kill people. And, they are destined to attack my army. They want to kill me in this way. Annihilate me. If I don't order a counterattack, my soldiers will die. My army will be injured. Benevolence, we must also look at the target. Holy Fox Saintess, think about it for yourself. Fang Fan said calmly, the sharp light in his eyes flickered. He thought he had done nothing wrong. The fierce battle between the light and dark camps really has nothing to do with ordinary people. They can stay at home behind closed doors. Why do they choose to pick up murderous weapons and rush to the front? Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1680. Killing is the eternal theme. With the collapse of the branch of the Dark Temple in Demon Heart City, the entire Demon Heart City also became restless. For the residents and cultivators of Demon Heart City who keep their duty, Fang Fan can completely treat each other with courtesy, which is a kind of etiquette. The etiquette he sticks to. But for those Demon Heart City cultivators who took up swords, Fang Fan only had one idea, and that was to kill. It is impossible for him to let these existences persecute his legion and soldiers, this is the most fundamental idea. Charged out from Demon Heart City, leaving behind only bones and blood along the way. Taking the blood as the cornerstone and the bones as the foundation, to go all the way openly, this is the original idea. 10 million contribution points skyrocketed. Destroyed a branch of the Dark Temple, the rewards are a bit too much. Fang Fan glanced at the data displayed on his bright contribution order, and the smiles on his face became more and more. At this moment, the thoughts gradually gathered, and the smiles also became more and more. The 10 million contribution points are net income. After such deeds are reported to the Temple of the Alliance of Light, it is impossible for the temple to say nothing. If you express it again. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and his eyes flickered brightly. This kind of thoughts gradually became real, it's really not too exciting. This time, the priesthood of the fourth rank archbishop should be considered stable. It's just this time that I took such a big advantage, I don't know what happened. Fang Fan curled his lips, this is the most aggrieved point. Originally he was excited to lead all the elites under his command to rush over, and he was ready to fight to the end, but in the end it turned into this, which made him laugh and cry, and even had a faint sense of sadness, the feeling is very real. On the road to the holy city of light, Mokashi, the acting cardinal of the Dark Temple, the Dark God Envoy, walked in front, rushing majestically, and his footsteps became faster and faster. Behind him, in addition to the priests of the branch hall, there are two bronze legions, the 205th and 209th, of the Ghost Legion, plus a battle group of the Dark Knight Legion. The overall strength is about 2 million, and all of them are elites above the Emperor's realm. What's more, the 10,000-person battle group of the Dark Knight Legion is all elites above the quasi-saint realm. Such a military scale can basically be regarded as walking sideways on the road. Lord Makaxe, you are about to leave the sphere of influence of the broken soul demon realm. Once you enter the Qingtian sanctuary, our chance to make meritorious deeds will come. As long as we see practitioners and troops from the light faction appearing, wipe them all out. This subordinate is here to congratulate Lord Makaxe in advance to shine in front of the holy city of light, and to keep fighting. As Xiao Yui, the commander of the 707th chapter of the Dark Knight Legion, said, the expression on his face became more and more flattering. Such an opportunity is not so easy to obtain. Naturally, it must be grasped carefully, and there should be no accidents. Ha ha ha. Don't worry. With the credit of this cardinal envoy, I will not forget you. When I rise to the top, you will surely follow suit. Mokashi raised his head arrogantly, and when he thought of the beautiful picture in the future, he felt unnaturally more excited and excited.